Shalom Aleichem, it's Yaakov Shepherd here from King David's Tomb, KingDavidKabbalah.com, and we are on our weekly podcast on Reincarnation. And I have here a very interesting story from Zohar Vayechi, page 217b. And the subject matter starts with the subject of the parasha of Vayechi about the death of Yaakov. But then the Zohar goes to explain about generally what's going on when someone is about to leave this world, and let's see what will be the messages that we can take from this article and story of the Zohar. So the first thing that the Zohar is starting with, that shame should be the people of the world. They don't know, don't see, don't hear what is happening in the heavens. And it declares that every day there is a voice that comes out of the heavens, and it can be heard in 250 worlds. When we speak about worlds of the Kabbalah, we're not talking about planets of astronomy. When we're talking about worlds, we're talking about a dimension of existence. And then the Zohar continues and say, there's one world that when that announcement comes and heard in this world, the whole world is shivering. And there is two birds that are flying off this world. And the dwelling place of those birds is under the tree of life and death. Now, what does it mean, two birds that our dwelling place is under the tree of life and death? It's hard to explain, but the best simple way that I can put it is that we're talking about a certain mechanism that takes place of the nourishment that is coming down from the upper worlds to the lower worlds. So those two birds are kind of messengers that are going back and forth, bringing certain kind of abundance from the upper worlds to the lower worlds. And the Zohar is telling us that one flies to the east, to the south, and one flies to the north. Now the south, we know in Kabbalah, represents the character of kindness, chesed, the right pillar. And the north is actually symbolizing the negative aspect of the left side, judgment, that we're going to explain further on with the help. One bird is connected to the day, is receiving the enlightenment of the day, and one bird is connected to the night and receives the abundance when it's dark. Each one of those birds fly and announce what is heard in that message, that of the voice that comes into those heavens, into those dimensions. But then those birds goes back to their place, and their legs are basically the channeling of this abundance to the lower aspects that have a certain negative connotation that it goes into. And this is a process that takes place until midnight. And then after that, there is a new kind of character of the day that starts to shine, which is the day, the new day. And that is the process that is taking place from one day to another. How the light of the day disappears into the night, and the darkness over the night that takes over is getting stronger and stronger until a certain point, which is midnight. And that point of midnight is very, very important for anyone that wants to do the work of spiritual elevation, because the spiritual elevation starts in that point of midnight. The righteous people are accustomed to wake up at midnight and do their prayers and meditations and learning, and that will be the way to really connect to what's going on in the heavens, in the spiritual worlds. So there is a lot of things that should be said on this topic, but the most important clarification I want to make for today is that process is taking place also within the day cycle, but also within the cycle of the whole creation. And that's a big question of where is that point of midnight within the time frame of the whole creation. It's hard to define, but my own personal opinion is that we are definitely past it. And that is a very significant statement, because with that understanding, we can really connect to the spiritual elevation that is taking place through the whole world. Even though there is still a lot of negativity, and for some people it seems as if we are still before the biblical point of midnight and things are getting worse, God forbid. But I don't think so. I think that things are getting better, and we already passed the lowest point, which is the midnight of the creation, let's say. And slowly things are getting brighter and clearer, and there's more understanding and there's more desire of people, Jews and non-Jews, to connect to Hashem in the right way, to do the right things. And I think the best way that we can be part of that is, first of all, with this learning that we're doing here. Because when we have better understanding of how the spiritual worlds are coming together, what is the order, what is the spiritual mechanisms that are taking place, transforming the light and the abundance from one dimension to another, and how our existence fits in to this big system, it allows us to tap in to these realms of spirituality. And then our meditations and prayers are much more effective. And that's a big part of what I'm working on delivering in those classes. So we will all reach the full potential, as much as Hashem will allow us, of what we came here to this world to do. And obviously the result is that when we come to leave this world, when the time comes, we will know that we did what was needed to be done. And we will know that we are ready to take the next step and transform our existence to the next level. And hopefully not that we won't need the reincarnation. This is the purpose of the way of the Kabbalah, the Torah, all of the mitzvot, is to allow us to finish our tikkun, whatever we came here to do. And then when that is done to the full extent, then when we come to the heavens, instead of coming back as reincarnation to this world, we can actually move to a higher state of soul that is connected in internal connection for the infinity that is illuminating the upper dimensions of the existence. Before I finish, I want to ask you to come visit our website, kingdavidkabbalah.com. There's a lot of interesting articles, courses, books, and many more things, services that you can take, and that will allow us to continue with all this wonderful activity that we are so happy to do, to bring you the real authentic Kabbalah from Yerushalayim and to deliver it in a clean, pure way with the help of Hashem. Thank you very much for listening. Many, many blessings. Hashem will be with you in all the good things you want to do. להתראות. Shabbat Shalom V'Vorach.